Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you about being in alignment with what it is you want in life. I've been doing this manifesting challenge with Gabby Bernstein for the last few days. And I really love it because it's really reminded me, I already knew all of the things that she taught during this challenge, but I always feel like it's a good reminder to go back and revisit new topics. And just like you guys, I also go and visit mentors and I will retake classes and I will learn something new. I think that's the challenge, is making sure that we're always learning. And part of the interesting thing is that even though this was all stuff that I had already learned and learned many times, it's a good reminder. And she had some good meditations in there too, which is also good because I need reminding that I need to take time out to meditate and to get back into alignment with what I want. The thing about being in alignment is that it sounds like something that should be easy to do, but it's something we actually have a really hard time doing. Because being in alignment with something means that you know what you want, but you don't try to control when and how it shows up for you or what it looks like. And that is so difficult for us. I remember when I was pregnant with my twins, I used to dream almost every night about my babies. I dreamt that I already had them, and I would dream what they look like. And I know that a big part of that for me was just, I was so curious about what would they look like? Would they have my nose? Would they have his eyes? What would they look like? And I also, I was of course anxious to meet them, but I was also really wanting them to be here. I couldn't take it anymore. Okay, I want them here because this anticipation, this excitement, it's just too much. And when we manifest, it's kind of the same thing. It's like we really want to see the things that we want manifest in our lives, to the point that sometimes we get in our own way. And what I mean by that is we get so excited about what it is we want to see in our lives. We wanted it yesterday. That is a huge lesson for me throughout my life, is patience. I want everything yesterday. Yesterday wasn't fast enough. And so if I'm excited about something, I want it to happen right away. And one of the things that I have had to learn is that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's not about when we're going to get there or how we get there. It's about our journey on the way. And that's hard for us because we sometimes lack patience or lack the ability to let go of control. We think, okay, I wanted this yesterday. I want it to show up like this. I want it to be this. But what we don't understand is when we do that, when we put our hands in there and say, I got to control this. I've got to make sure it turns out the way I want it to. I've got to make sure it shows up on time. When we do that, we are actually delaying what's rightfully ours. We're blocking our blessings. Because what we're doing is we are going against the flow of life. Life is not supposed to be as difficult as we make it. Yes, we're here to learn lessons, but we often make those things so much harder than they have to be. I want to give you an example. For so long, when I started my business, I always had this, I don't know if you want to call it a fear, whatever, in the back of my mind of, I have to reach so many sales, I have to do so many things, I have to get so much exposure, or things won't happen for me. And the more I worried about it, and the more I obsessed about it, I ended up blocking my blessings because I was just posting. And finally, I was like, okay, you know what? This isn't working, universe. I'm not getting as many followers as I want, and this isn't happening the way I want. And this was like the first few months I started. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but this just isn't taking off. And I started doubting myself. And finally, I just said, okay, I'm trying to do everything my way. How about if we try to do it your way? Okay, I don't know what's best for me always, but you do. So how about if for this little journey, I decide to take the passenger seat for a little bit and let the universe drive? I said, okay, I don't know everything that I need to know. I'm not doing something right, and I don't know what it is, and I don't have the knowledge. I'm not a business person. So, okay, universe, I need your help. I just got to let go of control. I need you to show me the steps that I need to take. And I need you to put people on my path who can help me. So immediately, and people tell me this all the time, that I wasn't even listening to your podcast and your podcast just came on. Well, that happens to me too. When I ask for guidance and to bring people into my life, like things just show up. So this girl just showed up on, I think, Facebook for me. I'm like, why did this pop up? And it was like a business boot camp thing. I'm like, oh, wow. And it was affordable. So I was like, okay, this will work. And I learned a lot. And I learned a lot about social media marketing. And then something else that happened was I just got this message from my guides that said, you need to do like a contest. And then also you need to do a promotion and you need to email it and you need to do this. And so like I started getting hits from spirit about, this is what you should be doing. This is what you need to do more of. And then I got a message that said, you need to be doing Facebook Lives. You need to be doing lives. You need to be out there and people need to see your readings and they need to really get exposure to who you are. And another message that came through to me from a listener, but was also guidance, was you need to be more vulnerable. You need to be more of who you are instead of worrying about being this perfect person who was worried about, every little thing and looking like perfection, which isn't possible even, but, feeling like I have to be professional. And what I got was people are going to connect with you more if you're authentic. Perfection doesn't really matter because it doesn't exist anyway. And professionalism, well, it is what it is, but people are going to connect with you when you're more of your own authentic person. And nothing really put that in my face more than when Nala came in and I was doing a reading and she just took over the whole show, was on camera and her tail was in my face through the whole thing. And during the taping of this live, I was like mortified and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like no one's ever going to watch me again. This is ridiculous. But I tried to be light about it and joke. And then people started interacting with me and laughing on the live like, oh, that's so funny. That's so cute. I thought, okay, this isn't so bad. Just get through this. It's fine. Nala's being Nala. She's Miss Personality anyway. So just let her personality shine. And that ended up being one of the most viewed lives. And it's probably because, as one of my viewers said, we went back and watched it again laughing at Nala, which though, when I think about it, how awesome though, because for a little while, people were able to laugh, and let go of their tension and stress. And for me, all I ever want to do is for people to leave my sessions, my lives, my podcasts feeling better. That's really my ultimate goal, is that in the time that you're in my presence, I make you feel a little bit better than you felt when you came. And that really, truly is my goal, because I love when I go and listen to a podcast or I listen to a song or I go to a webinar and I leave feeling so much better than when I came. To me, that is value, that's added value. And that's what I want for my listeners and my viewers. I just want them to feel better than when they came. And that's my goal. And so I thought, okay, well, you accomplished that when she took over the live. So that was great. So when I stopped like being so rigid, like it has to be this way, it has to be that way, it has to be perfect, it has to be this, it has to be that. I mean, let's face it, you can't please every person. And there are still people who will, occasionally get on and leave a bad review, or they'll say something. And I can't control that because I can't control what someone else does. And I can't control if other people don't like me. But what I can control is not caring. And when I say don't care, I don't mean it like in a mean way. I just mean it in a healthy way. Like, I'm not about to let what someone else thinks about me define who I am, because I just don't care. I'm confident enough in who I am that I'm okay if you like me or if you don't like me. It's fine. So I will always have my tribe of people who find me and who say, I really resonate with your message, and that's awesome. And if people find me and they go, you know what, I didn't resonate with you at all, that's okay too. There are a lot of other people out there who can help. I don't have to be your person, So I don't feel bad about that. But what I've learned from that is when I tried to be so controlling and like, I have to post 5 million posts a day. First of all, I almost drove myself insane posting on social media. And I was just posting stuff and it wasn't really making a dent, and it wasn't really necessarily reflecting who I was as a person, and it says you should reflect your brand and people should immediately know it's you. And when I was posting things, like, I don't feel like I really had a good handle on that, and I don't feel like people really knew it was me. And then, one of my friends said, you've got to post on Instagram videos too. It's like, you do your posts, but you really need to do videos too. And I need to do lives on Instagram too, and I swear one day I'm going to do it. I just haven't done it yet, and Instagram is just the tiniest little bit intimidating to me because it's all about algorithms, and I don't quite understand that, and I'm not a math person. So I'm like, I don't know. But I know I've got to get over that fear and do lives on Instagram too, which I will do. And I will let you know when I do that. But I post the videos to IGTV, and so that was branching out for me too, and something I knew nothing about. And I found, and I said, I'm like, okay, universe, I don't know anything about Instagram. What do I do? And here comes this class. It's like, hey, be a social media, influencer on Instagram, and I can show you how. And my class is online, and it's this and it was super affordable. I was like, oh, okay. And yet again, learned a ton, improved stuff I was doing, and got a lot more hits off of that. So it's helpful. And again, my point to you is when I try to do everything myself and when I try to control everything that happens, I was getting in my own way and I was not helping myself at all. I was basically like an animal chasing its tail, running around in circles. I was not making any headway, and I was just ready to quit and beat my head against the wall. I was so frustrated. It's like nothing I'm doing is making a difference. And so when I finally said, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but universe, you know what I need to do. And sometimes I just have to say that. Sometimes I have to just get really, really quiet and say, okay, universe, what do I need to do to help my business? What's one thing I can do? And immediately something will come up. You need to do this. And I'm like, awesome. Thank you. I'm running with it. Thank you for the idea. And you can do that too in any area of your life. But what I find is when I find myself struggling with something, what's really going on is that I'm not in alignment with it. Like with my business, when I was struggling and it felt like, oh my gosh, I'm not making any headway at all, and this is getting super frustrating. I was not in alignment with my business, with my goals, with where I was supposed to be on my path and my purpose. And the way that I got into alignment with was, number one, letting go of the need to control every outcome. And also letting go of the need to be the only one working towards my business. Because it was just me, and I was like Atlas. I had the whole world on my shoulders, and I was struggling majorly. And when I just shifted and I said, universe, please bring people to me who can help me. I need help. can you please bring people? And I don't have money to pay people because I'm starting out this business, but eventually I will. But maybe if you bring people into my life who can, if they'll do something for me, I can do Reiki for them or a reading for them or a past life regression. We can trade services until I can afford this. That's what I said. And wouldn't you know it, people started showing up in the form of new friends that I met who are like, hey, I can help you with this. In the form of people just reaching out and saying, can I help you? And that's not by accident, guys. I asked the universe and the universe showed up big time. And the universe is ready to show up big time for you too. But you have to be in alignment. So many people, and I'm guilty of this too, will say, I want a relationship and I want this great guy and he needs to be 6'2" and blonde and he needs to have blue eyes and he needs to be a surfer and, you go on with your list of things you want, right? Or think you want. And what I found here is a couple of things. Number one, I didn't always know what I wanted. I always talked about the physical features and things that I wanted, and that's not really what makes a person, and that's not what makes their character and we're attracted to a person's soul anyway, right? Looks, yes, you have to be attracted to a person physically, but that only lasts for so long. If you're only attracted to a person's looks and they're like dull as a rock and you have nothing in common, that's going to die out pretty quickly and you're going to get bored. But if you're attracted to someone's soul, like you can have deep, meaningful conversations with this person and you're attracted on all levels, that's rare. That's really rare. And so when you say to the universe, this is what I want, I feel like oftentimes the very first thing that's wrong is we're not really totally aware of what we want. We're just throwing random things out at the universe, like I want a bunch of money or I want a relationship, I want this. But we're not clear ourselves on what we want. You've got to get really clear about what it is you want. And when I say that, I'm not talking about if you want a relationship, don't start listing the physical qualities that you want in a person. That's not really all that important. What is important is what characteristics of a person do you want? Do you want someone you can have long, deep conversations with? Someone you can go camping with? Someone you can sit and watch Netflix and binge an entire season of something with? Do you want someone that you can laugh with and go to a comedy club or go have nice dinners and wine? Like, what kind of person do you want? Someone who will travel with you. What do you need in a person? Or if you want a job, a career, what do you want? What kind of career do you want? Say to the universe, I would like a career where I can do what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about healing others. So I want a career where I can do that and where I can make enough money to sustain myself without having to work anywhere else. And I can, be in love with my job again. Because for many of us, we say I'm not in love with my job. That's very common. So you need to get in alignment with what exactly it is that you want. Let the universe know, what do you want? And the second most important thing is to get out of your own way. Once you say, this is what I want, stop trying to control how it shows up, when it shows up, where it shows up. Just stop it, because you can't, for one thing. And the other thing is that you are manifesting, but when you're focused on that I don't have it, you're focused on the lack, which means you're going to see more lack. When you finally learn to trust, and I know that's hard for some people, but when you learn to trust and say, okay, universe, this is what I want, and I know that I deserve it, and I know you're bringing it to me, and I don't have to know who it is, where it is, what it is, when it is. I just trust that it is. It already is mine, and I thank you for that, and I'm going to go about my life and focus on being happy. That's when things start to show up. Because when you're focused, super focused and hyper focused on a particular outcome, you are out of alignment. And I love what I saw, and I believe it was from Abraham Hicks. And I wrote it down because I thought, oh, I've felt this way many times in my life, and I need to really write this down so that when I feel this way and I recognize that I'm feeling this way, I can just stop myself and I can say this and try to get myself back in alignment. So when I feel like I'm hyper-focused on a particular outcome and I know that I'm trying to control things, like my ego is taking over and I'm getting in there thinking, this is never going to happen if I don't do something about it, then I step in and I say to myself, I recognize that I'm out of alignment with, and then I state the name of the person, the situation, the belief, whatever. Like for me, just recently, it was, I recognize that I am out of alignment with my beliefs surrounding money. Because for a while, I know I was afraid. I was letting fear hold me back. I think I honestly was afraid of success, of what would happen if I allowed myself to be successful. And I said to the universe, okay, I recognize that I'm out of alignment with my beliefs around money. I choose to release the outcome and feel good now. Thank you, universe, for guiding me. So I recognize that I'm out of alignment with, insert whatever you're out of alignment with. For me, it was a fear surrounding success or money. I choose to release the outcome and feel good now. Thank you, universe, for guiding me. And I'm telling you that right after I said that, it was almost like I just had to say it for myself to then realize, hey, this is going to be okay. But you've got to spot it. You've got to realize that you're not in alignment. And then the universe will help you get back into alignment. And even if you don't know how to get in alignment, here's an exercise you can do that's really great and it's helpful, super helpful. Find a quiet space. And depending on what helps you the most, you might want a pen and paper, or you might not need that. Some people feel like automatic writing really helps them. So they sit and they meditate, sit in stillness for 5 minutes, and they just start writing and whatever comes to them. And when I work with clients, it's kind of what I do. I just start writing and then I kind of look at what I'm writing after the fact. But if automatic writing works for you, great, do that. If you don't need it, if things pop into your head, that's great too. But just sit and then say to the universe, okay, universe, how do I get back into alignment with, and fill in whatever you want there, my career, with my purpose, with my relationship, whatever it is. How do I get back into alignment? And then listen for the guidance that comes, because I really do feel like your guides are trying to get a hold of you, trying to get your attention, trying to give you the answers. But when we are living our lives at 500 miles an hour, you're not hearing it because there's too much white noise. So you've got to take that time, set a timer and make sure nothing is going on around you. And even if you need to clear your space beforehand, maybe burn some sage or some Palo Santo or put your crystals out, maybe clear the energy because spaces hold energy. Clear your space, clear your energy, clear you, and then sit in that stillness for 5 minutes and say, okay, universe, how do I get back into alignment? I realize that I am out of alignment. Please guide me. How do I get back into alignment with whatever it is you need getting back into alignment with? And for me, when I said, how do I get back into alignment with my business? It was, you need to do Facebook Lives. You need to do this. You need to do that. And information just started coming. And it will if you give it time, okay? You can do this, whenever you find time. You can do it multiple times a day. Don't obsess. But, sometimes we need a little practice in hearing our higher selves, our intuition, or our guides, or whoever you're asking for guidance from. But get into that habit of doing that and make sure you're taking the time to do that. And then thank the universe for giving you the guidance, because they really do. The universe really does want to guide us, and the universe really does have our backs. If we could see all of the things the universe had in store, like, I'm waiting to give this to you, but it's being delayed because you're trying to block it for some reason. If we just knew, we wouldn't fear anything. We would just relax and we would just let it flow to us. And that's the whole thing about being in alignment. We're really just trying to go with the flow is really the most understated thing, but it's so true. We are going with the flow. When we get into alignment and we don't worry and we don't have fear and we let go of control, which for me was like the hardest thing ever to do because I was certainly a control freak for a long time, and having to learn how to let go of control of an outcome, that's been really super hard for me. But once I did, the results were amazing, astounding. So I urge you to try doing the same thing and just see what comes up for you. Get back into alignment. All right, guys, I wanted to pull a card for you today, as always. So I pulled a card today from the Crazy Sexy Love Notes deck by Chris Carr. And the card I pulled is Confidence. It takes courage to put your butt on the line and go for it. And the best way to strengthen your confidence is to put yourself out there. Who cares what other people think? Everybody starts somewhere. And don't worry about making mistakes. You can always course correct, but you'll never know or grow unless you try. And the more and the more you do, the more confident and successful you'll become. When you shine, we are all inspired to do the same. And I want you to think about something. I want you to think about all of those great companies that were out there, or the great actors and actresses that are out there. When they first started, they don't look like what they look like now. Think about it. If you think about how Amazon started, it was Jeff Bezos in one office, like one room, and he had an Amazon banner behind him, and it didn't look anything like it does today. He had to start somewhere, and he started small, and it took off rather quickly. But it's changed throughout the years. And think about Oprah. I love this as an example because she was actually fired from her first reporting job because they told her like she didn't look like she should be on television. Like she didn't have what it takes to be on television. She would never, make it. And did she let that stop her? No. She kept going and she found her niche. But when she first started, if you look back at her first shows were really raw and kind of rough. And they certainly were not the same kind of topics that she did later on. If you think about it, her first show were just really kind of random topics that were, popular in society at that time. So I think she had done like a show about racist or whatever. It was some kind of topic she would take, and it would just be everyday guests that she had on. And when she ended her show, she had on like big name celebrities and everything else. Her show had completely changed from what it was in the beginning. And that's because you don't wait until you know everything and have everything to start, because you'll never get started. You start, and then as you learn, you make it better. And that's what successful people know, and that's what successful people do. They don't wait until they have everything. They know that they have everything and it's internal. They just have to really work at what they have and learn new things and apply it. So any good professional knows that you don't start where you end. It's always about improving, learning, growing. So it's perfectly fine if your first year at your business looks kind of crappy compared to what your ending year is. That's not the important thing. The important thing is you're learning, you're evolving, and you're having confidence in yourself. And people who are willing to be flexible, willing to learn, willing to go with the flow, those are the people who really make it in this world. So don't be discouraged. Now is the best time to start fresh. It's the perfect time to start fresh. Why not start loving your life again? All right, guys, I want to thank you for being with me. If you are ready to start loving your life again and you'd like to work with me, there are so many ways you can work with me. For the entire month of January, all of my coaching sessions are 30% off. So why not take advantage of that today? Also, if you just would like a little bit of daily inspiration, why not join my Love Your Life course? It's all online. There are 23 daily lessons that you can do whenever you want, from wherever you want. Once you join, you just click on the PayPal link on my website for the Love Your Life course. You will just use the PayPal link to click pay. It will take you to a page which gives you the code, and then you will have all access to the daily lessons, which include things like breaking free from limiting beliefs, finding your purpose, getting to know your guides and your angels, plus much more. And it will be yours to keep forever, and you can revisit it anytime you want. So consider joining. There are 2 payment options. There is a payment plan, which is split into 2 payments, or you can pay it all at once. It's up to you. And you can also work with me with a past life regression, Reiki, or readings. As always, if you like this podcast, please share it with others. Please leave reviews and feedback for me. That helps others find me. My contact information is in the description to the podcast. If you have any questions or would like to reach out, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. I love hearing from you. And don't forget to follow me on social media. I go live on Facebook Mondays at 5:30 Central, where I do a free card reading, and I also upload videos to IGTV on Instagram. I hope that you guys will have a fabulous day, full of blessings. Do not let fear keep you stuck or hold you back. It's time to be confident and to live your absolute best life. I love you guys, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.